Have you found yourself wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Recognizing the stranger in the mirror is the book for you. It helps us to unravel the mystery of who you really are, revealing your life's passion and why you should unveil the real you to the world. We need you. You are valuable and necessary for those who are connected to you. Do not be afraid to peek in and discover all your gifts and talents to share. It's real freedom when we reveal our authenticity. Stacy Bullock is a 2-time best-selling author, transformational speaker, and host of Tools for Everyday Living TV show. She is committed to igniting resilience, personal transformation, and building life skills of her audiences and clients. The author of 2 previously written self-help books, Beaten Oil and Regain Power Through Resilience, Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. Stacy imparts lessons that teaches readers to utilize their light as a guide for others and discovering inner strength and resiliency to bounce back when life throws curveballs. Stacy may be reached for speaking engagements, leadership and employee training, and life skills coaching via her email at stacy@powerandresilience.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tools for Everyday Living. I am Stacy Bullock, your host. And I'm not even going to waste a whole lot of time talking because I want to get my guest on here because I already know that lives are going to be changed. People's minds are going to be changed. Your heart is going to feel like it wants to now move forward with the next part of your journey. So I'm just going to say a little bit about him, and hopefully I will keep it all together here on national TV. My guest today is Bishop Joseph Margo. And I can't even tell you enough about how he has impacted my life. I met him at a very dark time in my life, but he somehow allowed God to use him to cultivate this atmosphere that was safe for healing and safe for getting an understanding as to who you are in God. First of all, getting an understanding who God is and who God is in you. So without further ado, I want to introduce again Bishop Joseph Margo. Welcome, sir.
Well, hello there, Stacy. I trust that all is well, and to your audience, and whether you're listening to for the first time or this is your multiple trip, I want to say Stacy is, I think, one of the safest ears and voices of our day, and I'm looking forward to this discussion tonight.
Yes, and I know that that's what it's going to be. I'm so thankful and grateful for this platform, for being used as the vehicle to change lives, and being able to have you on as my guest. Bishop Margo has been in ministry. It says 38 years in the bio, but I'm going to say over 38 years. I'm probably almost from birth. That's the way I feel. And this is in the city of Hope in Columbia, Maryland. And the Energy Center was formed in 1989. Bishop, that's a while ago. What keeps you engaged and wanting to see this to the end?
That's a very powerful question, and I have a very simple answer. I've learned how to manage and navigate through seasons, but I've also learned how to stay hungry, learn how to stay thirsty. I did not let any stage, any chapter in my life hinder me or shut me down, although painful, although some difficult moments and times, but to remain hungry and not be afraid to say that, to remain thirsty has probably been the salvation of my purpose and destiny.
You know, it's interesting you even say that word, to stay hungry. I've actually been studying it. I just created a folder not too couple days ago and named it Hunger. And there are a lot of songs in there that talk about the hunger. But I'm noticing that we're beginning to, when I say we, humanity is beginning to hunger after the things that are tangible, the stuff that they can, put their hands on. Now you have created this wonderful, what is called a hub for holistic services for the surrounding, what we might consider the DMV area, Philadelphia and New York. And do you see that people are starting to grasp hold to this thought of being hungry?
No, I see people eating off of various and different plates. They've adopted diets, um, and we can't blame the pandemic. COVID didn't do it. The pandemic only revealed what we were hiding on the inside. And when we got a chance to act out what we were really hungry for, we ran after that. And so
Mhm.
when you get up against destiny knocking on your door or opportunity opening the window for you, you end up coming up short because the hunger level has to be revealed through discipline. We have a
Mm.
and talking about favor, but favor is an empty quest without having a background of servitude and consistency, but most of all, discipline. So I'll say it like this, that favor is a result, it's the fruit of discipline. But yet,
Yes.
there's a group of people who are coming to themselves. There is a move in the earth realm that's stirring up what we either lost or set aside, uh, ran away from. And so outside of us, destiny, the move of who we are and what we're really here on the earth to become is starting to stir us up again. So I know I said no in the beginning, but because of this organic move, we're coming back to ourselves.
Yes, and I get that, but what, the part about you saying no at first, because I think about it from the Stacy standpoint, coming to myself and having an understanding of who I am and the power that we have the capacity to have, it can be a little scary to some people. And what would you say? Because you have over 300 churches and businesses that you're overseeing across multiple continents. How do you keep these people saying, I'm going to stay hungry? I'm not going to be afraid of becoming who I know that I can be. Sometimes I call it, there's this disconnect in the mind and the heart. The heart knows who you are, but the mind says something different. So how you keep all of them going?
Well, that's an old bio, and so there it's the numbers are much more. There was one particular meeting that we had in a city called Jos, Jos, Nigeria, and 7,000 people heard
Mm.
a sound and joined our network just in that one northern part of Nigeria. But we're in multiple continents at this time. And but to answer the question is that I had to figure out what was my message, what am I in this earth to convey, and not to allow culture to drive my narrative or drive the narrative, but to get to the place where I honed in on getting to know who I was and what I liked and what I didn't like and what was I craving for and I had to spend some time in this place that very few of us like, and it's called obscurity.
Mhm.
Obscurity is a defining place, a defining point. It's a refining place. But
Mm.
when you say, well, what do we say to businesses uh, or to entrepreneurs or to somebody who's in the pulpit? They may be a pastor, or there may be a young person who just says, I've got this thing in me that I feel like I'm supposed to do, I want to do. The one thing I had to learn how to do is to reignite what education and religion took away from us. And that's the gift of curiosity.
Mm.
School education teaches our children in Head Start, do not be curious anymore. When they first start, their hand is in the air asking questions. By the time they get through high school, their hand is always down. They've learned what was told to them, and they have their spirit's been dull, their curiosity's been dull. And that's the same thing that's happened via religion. Religion wants you to be a parakeet. It wants you to be something that just repeats what you've heard. I grew up in an era where we were told, don't question God, don't ask God no questions. Well, you'll be the dumbest person on the planet if you follow that trend. And so I had to learn how to reignite curiosity. There's 8 billion people on the planet as we speak, five or so different gen types existing. Never before this amount of people sharing the planet. Every last one of them have been assigned a purpose. Every last one of those 8 billion plus people have giftings and talents and abilities. And so, what we do, or attempting to do, is to find every resource possible to reignite and give people back the gift to be curious.
Hmm. Yes, have often said, and it's unfortunate, but now that I know that I did not dream as a child. And maybe that's why I'm now having so many explosive moments of dreams and wanting to fulfill and go after things. It's been all bottled up, and now it's just all coming out at one time. And you mentioned a couple words here that we might have lost some folks when you said those words, but I hope they stuck around, because I want you to talk about discipline, consistency, discipline and consistency, and how they should be a part of our everyday life.
Well, discipline is the motor nerve to success. I'm going to say that again. Discipline is the motor nerve to success. I don't know of anybody who has not heard of LeBron James. He is a phenom as it relates to athleticism. But there's something that most people don't get a chance to hear about unless they're listening to the right interviews. And that is LeBron puts over $1.5 million each year into his body, his physique. He's entered into the science aspect of it, where you don't see him spraining his legs or ankles a lot because he learned via a coach how to land on his feet like a cat lands on his feet. And so, uh, discipline. Discipline is that motor nerve. Discipline will have you in the gym when everybody else is asleep. Discipline will have you going on a walk. Discipline will have you fasting. Discipline will have you memorizing things. Discipline will have you uh, reading materials that may not even fit the current industry that you're in, but you are expanding your mind. And so discipline is just a choice to hone in. Discipline is the gift that was given to us so that it will be the very thing that will give fruit to something that when you show up to a setting, a scene, a business meeting, when you show up to in a room, you change the aura of the room because of your discipline. Discipline will have you owning the room once you begin to find out uh, that the times where you had to say no, when everybody else was seemingly having a good time, everybody else went out to happy hour parties, or everybody else stayed out real late on a Saturday night and or a Sunday night and had to be at work 5 a.m. the next morning. Discipline says, no, I've got somewhere to go. I've got something to become. And so uh, discipline is, I used to say it that discipline sounds like a cuss word to somebody who just wants to live so free. But discipline pays off. What you say no to today will cause you to excel tomorrow.
Yes, and we're going to come right back in a few minutes, and we're going to hit on that consistency because those two have to go together. But I love it when you said that. To me, it came to me as discipline will have you doing, will have you moving, creating, developing, implementing things for your life. As you said, he put in millions of dollars into his body. We have to put in that amount and more into our mindset so that we can be disciplined. But we're going to come right back. We're going to go away and pay some. Hi, my name is Stacy Bullock. I am the president and CEO of Ordered Steps Incorporated, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide tangible hope to formerly incarcerated female veterans and homeless women. We give them an opportunity to live a productive life while participating in our one-year training courses to guide them in life skills and job training. All right, we are back. Tools for Everyday Living. I'm your host, Stacy Bullock, and we have our wonderful guest with us today, Bishop Joseph Margo. And we are going to just go right back and dive right into consistency.
Discipline and consistency, I think, will be the telltale sign as to whether I'm going to be successful or whether I'm going to be unsuccessful. I want to share this with you. When you look at success and failure, they begin with a conversation. And if you are consistent with either one of those areas, whatever your target is, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to stay consistent to the instructions that were given to you in a conversation with somebody. Each of those have someone at the gate that will help you to where you've never been before. I like to say it like this: you were not born for failure, you were talked into failure. You were born for success because you were given the right template to be consistent with. Now, consistency is costly. Consistency will cause you to gain friends and it'll cause you to lose some friends. Consistency will cause you to end up in conversations, be around groups of people that you weren't groomed to be around. But consistency will get you into doors, into rooms, into uh, getting inside of some boardrooms that you would never have been able to aspire to except that you were consistent. That means starting where you are now, not comparing yourself, but starting where you are right now. Comparisоnism is a toxic arrow shot into somebody that takes away their ability to be curious, their ability to be one who is consistent and just rubs discipline out of the way. Discipline and curiosity, discipline and consistency will cause
Mhm.
you to have to make some sacrifices. Sometimes, Stacey,
Mhm.
consistency and discipline will have you saying, I like these people, I like this person, this guy, this woman, these people I've been around, but I'm trying to go somewhere, and their
Mhm.
inconsistency is injuring my vision of the possibilities that are on my life.
Yes. And so when you said that, it just brought me to thinking about our commitment that we make, first of all, to God, then the commitment that we make to ourselves. So often people are uh, revoking or relinquishing their own commitment to themselves. And that is a place where people just really shouldn't go, because if we stop committing to saying, yes, I am going to succeed, I am going to fulfill purpose. So with us uh, not having commitment, what does that do to a person? How does that take them off the tracks of being going in the right direction to fulfill their purpose?
The truthful answer is, if somebody doesn't have discipline, if somebody doesn't have consistency, if somebody doesn't have focus, you are guaranteed not to fulfill whatever you're dreaming about. You're not
Mm,
serious with your destiny. Anybody that is not disciplined or learning to discipline themselves will be obese in in their mind. They will never be able
mm,
to grow and be effective. You cannot
mm,
say that you're serious about making a difference on this planet
mhm.
except that we see the fruit and the discipline of consistency.
do you think they were all here to make an impact, leave an imprint here on earth?
Out of 8+ billion people on the planet existing tonight, I'm here in Maryland, you're in California, which I'm from California. And every single individual has been assigned to be an impact, not just make an impact, but to be an impact. So the answer is yes. Every single person. And that does not mean that we'll do the same things, but everybody has something that they're good at, whether
Yes.
they've discovered it or not. You see, assignment is not just your decision, it's your discovery.
That was so well put. So, can you say that again for us?
Assignment is not your decision, it is your discovery. You find out what you're good at. What do you mean, what you're good at? That at any point or time during the day or night, if you were to be awakened or come in contact with something that you have hidden in your heart, a desire, a will, a cause, when you see what it looks like on the outside, that's when you begin to identify an assignment.
So, I always say the books that I've written, they were in here at one point, couldn't be seen, but now they're actually tangible. And I just use that as an example for people to hopefully understand that, I stumbled upon that gift. That wasn't something that I actually was writing and was told to never write again at the age of 10.
Mhm.
And I'm thankful that those words that were spoken to me could be healed within me. And now I can still go forward and be still right. But nobody would have known that those words were inside until we actually decide to produce them where they can be seen. So you're saying that we need to make sure that when we do stumble upon those things that we like and we see it, trust it. Should we and we should believe that we're capable of doing it, right?
I'm from a little town called Oceanside, not too far from where you are. And who would have thought that a guy who wondered what all this was all about, terms of life, don't nobody know me. Um, I felt inadequate. I just felt like here's these people that I'm living with. They eat, they sleep, they go out to work or school and come back. And I'm scratching my head and saying, it's got to be more than this. And to see what I've been able to do, accomplish, and the places I've been able to go is mind blowing to me. Every person has opportunities on a daily basis given to them. But the problem is that opportunities are not wrapped in Christmas paper all the time. Opportunities come through difficulties. As we speak right now, they're teeter-tottering on the big R word, recession. Well, do you not realize that the next set of billionaires and now trillionaires are going to be birthed in this recession climate, whether it's real or not real, whether it's a pandemic or whatever it is? The next set of trendsetters, the next set of innovators, the next set of people who are going to shift cities are being birthed in this atmosphere with the capacity of making a difference.
Definitely. When you say make a difference, I'm a word girl, so I'm always looking up words. And when I looked up the word made, actually, and make is a form of it, it said to add the necessary ingredients. And sometimes, I put ingredients in food all the time. If you eat it by itself, you think, ew, no, that doesn't taste good. So if you just bite right into the middle of a red onion, it's probably going to burn your nose, your tongue, a whole bunch of stuff. And you would think that it would not be something that was necessary to make something taste good. But when you put some onions, I'm just gonna say, in some gravy, probably, what is gravy calling my name? I haven't had gravy in a long time. But you put some gravy and some onions and it gets to simmering and smelling up. It is a wonderful smell, a wonderful aroma to the nose, and it makes people feel good. But if you bite right into that onion, it's not gonna be good for you. So yeah, when we are when all the necessary ingredients are added for us to produce, it's not always a fun time. And like I said, I came to your church at a very dark place in my life, and I am so thankful that I was able to um, be ushered into this atmosphere that literally changed my life. And I just want you to talk to us a little bit about because we talked about, when we come to a place, when we go to a room, when we show up, what comes with us? How do we prepare ourselves to change an atmosphere?
Well, and I appreciate your compliment. I remember when you were here, and I remember those times, those moments that you reference. But I knew you were more than, no matter what had tried to attach itself to you, you were better than at that time. And most of the times we dangerously look at those moments and think that we really know somebody. Well,
Mhm.
part of what's on my life, or what I hopefully I can say it this way, I'm gifted to do, is to help someone to not just bring an atmosphere, but to learn you are an atmosphere. Do you not realize that when you show up to a setting, somebody's been waiting for you? Literally, sometimes people are going to say, "Do I know you?" It's because they recognize the energy, the inertia you walk with, and they gravitate to that. But when you've been lulled to sleep, not knowing how to identify or recognize who you are, and you're not here as a copycat, you're not a duplicate of anything anybody else is doing, and then you have the right mentorship, you have the right guides, you're listening to the right podcasts like this one and the broadcast, and you're not allowing trash to be spat into your spirit and into your heart. You begin to discover what you're good at. You begin to become comfortable. This is not overnight, but you begin to become comfortable with being the artist, the actor, the athlete. You become comfortable with being the mathematician. You become comfortable with being the scientist because you're walking around with formula in your being. And when you find those right rooms, now, how do you find them? It means you got to come out of your comfort zone and be something, be somewhere that's not something you're used to, and you're drawn to it, and you'll find that when you get there, people have been waiting for you. One of the greatest freedoms I ever incurred in my life was to realize that, yes, I pastor, I'm bishop, I'm businessman, etc., but I had to give myself the freedom to become all those things and grow into those things, that I'm not one dimensional. Somebody needs to hear this tonight. You're not one-dimensional. You're multidimensional. You're multi-gifted. And seasons are not designed to last. Seasons only reveal the next chapters. And so when you get into a room, you'll know that it's your space, your zone, because ideas will come in your being. Thoughts will come. You'll know when it's not the right atmosphere because you don't have any thoughts for that atmosphere or that place. You don't have any dream. You don't have any input there. When you find your atmosphere, your space, I'll say it like this: when you find your zone, you'll know it because ideas will be there, dreams will be there. Stacy, you mentioned about dreams. Well, the dreams were only revealing what you didn't realize when you were coming up. These dreams are just moments of revealing who you are becoming. And the challenge is, do I trust stepping out on this plank? What are people going to say? Are they going to laugh at me? What? Oh my God, what's my family going to say? What am I saying? Because sometimes it's not the external criticism, it's the internal criticism that keeps us from stepping out. But I want to say this, that when you moved to Long Beach and out in that area, I said, you got to know that region is tough. You know, LA and all of that. That's not everybody can make it there, but you had the ingredient. We talked about it, we prayed about it, and doors began to come open for you. When when you find the zone, you'll start to feel safe enough to explore.
That is perfect because, like you said, things are happening, things are taking place. And I have people who say, well, do you think you're doing too much? Well, no, because I can't stop the creativity because I'm not the creator. And so the creativity just keep coming and keep coming and keep flowing. And I would say to people that when it keeps coming, when the rivers keep flowing, for us to just keep going, to not stop and listen to what the other people have to say. I did a show said, don't take it personal. Stop internalizing somebody else's experiences. So that's what I had to do. I had to stop internalizing that time at 10 years old being told to never write again. Any other time that came up to say, no, don't do this or don't do that. Go to school and become whatever. I just wasn't into going to college, even though I went late, but I still went, but I went to go after something when I started to understand who I am, so that it wasn't as dreadful as it could have been. People get into stuff. I say it all the time. You got the person at the door who's usher, and they need to be in the back cooking because they are not a people person. And we find ourselves in places that, no, this is not my flow. This is not where I need to be. God gave me an acronym for flow, and it says fully living, outwardly winning, flow. So when we are fully engaged, as what you're talking about, but it takes something that I learned, and I'm going to just put these two words out, Bishop. We're going to take one more break and come back. But the two words are effort and energy. And what I learned in physics is that effort and energy equal power. So when we come back, we're going to hear about some effort and energy equaling power.
I'm Stacy Bullock, and I'm committed to waking your power to bounce back quickly from life's challenges. I've learned there is power in resilience. There was a point in my life when I closely identified with the Sade song, soldier of love. Mostly what I
Hi, this is Stacy Bullock of Ordered Steps Incorporated, and I am here with Miss S, and she has been one of our favorite clients who we were able to assist, and I'm going to let her tell you all what it means to her for her to be assisted.
Okay, well, before I met Stacy, I'd been homeless for about 20 years here in Long Beach, California. But since I met Stacy, I mean, she got Missy involved with me, and now I'm inside. We've been inside for a little over 2 years, and we're doing better. Me and my dog Coco. And I mean, she's helped me out so much, I don't know what to do.
All right, we are back, and we are going to delve into some words that people may not want to hear, but let's start looking at things in a different light. All words are not negative. Just because they've been used as negative words by others doesn't mean we always have to see them as negative. We don't have to see discipline as negative. Discipline is simply just learning new instructions. We don't have to look at commitment as a bad word. It is a good word. It will get us to where we want to go. It'll get us unstuck. But let's hear about this effort and energy, which I found out in physics equals power.
Well, when you talk about energy, let's start there, because everything that has been created has been assigned a solution. Everything that has been created has been assigned a solution. And I saw in your commercial that be uniquely you. Well, that means we're going to have to find out what matters to me. And effort is taking a step of faith. Effort is part of the energy that you are reclaiming. I deal with a lot of people whom are saying, I wish that I had what I used to have. Well, you can't do anything about the past, but you can take an assessment and look at, well, why didn't this work? How did I get here? How did I get in this place? And it just may mean planting seeds differently than you did before. We're talking about effort. Effort is what you do in order to have a better, different, or a greater harvest. You got to always have harvest on your mind. You got to always have, what's your end game? What am I doing this for? And you'll begin to find that as you begin to make the effort, that things will begin to line up. Not overnight. I give it to you. Some things take time. But you know what? It's because what's causing you to have to step back sometime and sometimes start again is really because the opportunity for you to affect hundreds and thousands of people are hidden within, draped within that new start, that effort. Effort is what you do daily and sometimes 3 times a day. And sometimes you have to get to the place where you got to say, no matter what this looks like, no matter what I've been through, no matter if I don't have the money, I'm still going to make the effort. Angel helper shows up when effort is given, but energy, I don't know that I want to be around people who don't have energy. Um, Energy is the necessary ingredient to shift things around. It's the fuel that causes you to keep going no matter where you are in the spectrum. Energy. A speaker who has no energy is boring. Uh, an individual who works at a fast food place with no energy is boring. And I won't go back to that place. I,
I,
I don't
I,
I don't like folk who don't have energy. Uh,
I get it.
just have some exuberance. You know, it don't cost you much to say hello or good morning. Uh, but energy, I'm finding, comes as a result of the lack of focus. So when you lose energy, it's because
Mm,
you've allowed something external to become internal, and you begin to miss uh, energy. Energy is that necessary ingredient that helps you to keep going. Both are choices.
mhm.
Both are choices.
So when do we make this choice?
Now,
When
right now, I can't make for yesterday. Whatever happened last year, might have
Mhm,
been a bad, difficult year. But you know what? Now,
mhm.
I can begin right now.
Yes, I want to say to you with that saying that you said a little while ago, start where you are now. When my mother passed away, and that's been almost 30 years now,
Mm.
you told me that. And that has stuck with me from that moment. And it'll be here until I'm not here no more. And that really helped because at the time, my brain was saying, I feel like all my puzzle pieces just, it was like I was like a puppet and somebody stripped the strings out and all the blocks flew all over the place. But when you said just start where you are now, I was like, wow, what a relief. I don't have to start in next year. First of all, I can't start in next year. But at the time, I wasn't thinking that way. But now I know that it is important. I also want to say that it is important, very important for us to know that it is now, just as you just said, that we are to be focused on. Can't do last week, can't do last next year, can't do nothing that is not now. So I am just thrilled. And now I want to ask this question.
Sure.
How do people stay in the now? How do they focus on where they are when we have this desire to be somewhere better?
There's no place better than where you are now if you are emerging within the opportunities, the ideas. See, we're sucked into buying a car thinking it will make us better. Uh, they paint the picture uh, on that date to make it look like if you do this, you've heard the old term that grass is greener on the other side. There's nothing greener than right now, starting where you are.
Mm,
And I had to do it. You have to do it. And that is this one thing. And I hope somebody takes this away tonight. And that is that you give yourself permission to live beyond this moment that you're in. Not forgetting it, you have to live through it. There's nothing more devastating than the loss of a loved one, especially a mama or a child. Nothing more devastating, or dear friend. But you can use that moment, whatever it is, don't have to be a death, to live through it. But you got to give yourself permission now to live beyond it. And that place, you'll find that tomorrow's going to come, but you got to deal with it now. It's right
Yes,
now.
for sure, for sure. It is such a refreshing time. Time just went zoom, just flew right on out of here. I'm sitting up here looking at the clock and I'm going, wow, it's almost over now. We got to make sure that you come back, Bishop, because I know that somebody's life has been impacted today. My life has been impacted today. Every time I listen to you, I get something that I can use as a tool to keep moving for every day. It amazes me sometimes that I have been pondering on some things and then I'll stop and listen to you. Thank God for technology. I can still chime in during the services and things like that, even though I'm over here on the West Coast. And that was, one of those things in discovering who I am. What do you mean? Get up and move and leave all your family?
Yeah.
Leave everybody? Yes. And it was not an easy thing to do, but I have been what I consider to have been and still under your tutelage and learning more and more every day about who I am. But I want to let you close it out and tell the people what's going on with you now. How can they get in contact, watch your services, your teachings, seminars, school?
Well, I appreciate this time, and you've remained in fellowship and a daughter to us, and I pray that you continue to expand. We're building two schools, one in Nairobi, Kenya, the other in Accra, Ghana. We've also just completed the first stage of a stage 3 clinic in Kenya, which is about 2.5 hours away from Nairobi, where the Maasai tribe is, a city called Suswa. Um, First clinic ever in their community. If we didn't take the step of faith to build it there, people would still have to drive 75 miles one way just to get medical help. Um, how did I know? I didn't. I just knew I was supposed to build. And when I stepped foot on the soil, it's like the soil starts speaking to me to say, this is the place. Amazing to me. And we finished it. We were able to pay for it debt free. Now we're looking at adding solar and different things to it. But um, you can go to my website, or you can follow us on Instagram at Bishop JMC. Would love to have you, or even on Facebook. Would love to have you on the Joseph Company. We are meeting on Monday nights, but we've called the Joseph Company. You could email me at 21stsynergies@gmail.com. 21ST Synergies. SYNEGERSYS. 21stsynergies@gmail.com. We'd love to interact with you. And then some of you could go to either Apple Podcast or whatever format you have, Spotify, whatever you have, and just download our podcast. It's called Kingdomizing Your World. Kingdomizing Your World. And you'll be able to follow some of our thought process. And it's just a way that we can communicate on a daily basis to interact. Kingdomizing Your World. I would just want to say this to you, that you are a part of that 8 billion on the planet. You have been given an assignment, and you're here to solve. You are a solution to somebody. I'm looking forward to coming back real soon. Soon as you want us to come, we'll make it happen, Stacy.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I'm ready to clear the calendar out. Can I move you down? And no, just joking, people, just joking. But it has been a wonderful time, and we thank you all so much for joining Tools for Everyday Living. This is a place where you can come, where you can find guidance to navigate and formulate your way through this thing called life. There will be something that will be said that will cause you to move, to develop, to grow, and prosper. Remember, always be awesome.
Have you found yourself wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Recognizing the stranger in the mirror is the book for you. It helps us to unravel the mystery of who you really are, revealing your life's passion and why you should unveil the real you to the world. We need you. You are valuable and necessary for those who are connected to you. Do not be afraid to peek in and discover all your gifts and talents to share. It's real freedom when we reveal our authenticity. Stacy Bullock is a 2-time best-selling author, transformational speaker, and host of Tools for Everyday Living TV show. She is committed to igniting resilience, personal transformation, and building life skills of her audiences and clients. The author of 2 previously written self-help books, Beaten Oil and Regain Power Through Resilience, Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. Stacy imparts lessons that teaches readers to utilize their light as a guide for others and discovering inner strength and resiliency to bounce back when life throws curveballs. Stacy may be reached for speaking engagements, leadership and employee training, and life skills coaching via her email at stacy@powerandresilience.com.